welcome back to Inside Casey's Kitchen. Sorry I'm hot and sweaty. We have been outside in the garden because it is that time of year. We are going outside. We are gathering these items from the garden and we are either cooking them fresh as much as we can, as much as we can stand it. And then the rest, of course, we'll be preserving for later. So I am coming up with my own recipe. I don't know how this is going to turn out. I don't know if it's even going to be good. But I'm throwing it together and I'm videoing it just in case I need it for later. And I want to share it with you guys to see if it's something that may, tickle your fancy. So I have here 2 yellow squash that I am in need of using. Sorry, I hope the fan isn't bothering you guys too bad. I need it because I'm hot. So to that, I've also got, now don't shoot me, I've had this for a long little while and I need to get it used up. But I have some imitation crab meat. Now, of course, it's not expired or anything like that. I've just had it in the refrigerator for a while because I bought 2 packages at one time to make a crab meat noodle recipe. I'm not sure if I have a video on it or not, but if I do, I will go ahead and link it up here. But I bought 2 packages because I didn't know how far the meat was going to go, and we only ended up using 1. So now I've got 1 left, and I don't want to just let it keep sitting in the refrigerator. And I wanted to create a new kind of lighter, fresh tasting dish to use my fresh yellow squash. Now the reason why I'm using yellow squash is because my preference is that yellow squash is sweeter than zucchini and even the tromboncino that I'm using. You guys seen us pick the tromboncinos. Here is the rest of the very first one that we picked. We have eaten 4 meals off of it, so I'm actually going to get about 5 meals off of that one tromboncino squash. But anyways, the yellow squash gives that sweet texture or sweet taste to a dish, and I like it better than just plain zucchini that has just a mild flavor that it absorbs whatever it's cooked with. Now, so tonight I want to make like a crab meat Alfredo kind of dish. I'm just going to like cut up the squash and shred up the imitation crab meat and then make like a Alfredo sauce. So this should be keto. This will be low carb because that's the lifestyle that we are having to live now. No flour, no sugar. And let's see how this goes. So let's get to cooking. So I went ahead and got out most of my ingredients. I'm going to use some Parmesan cheese, some minced garlic. You can use garlic powder as well, or you don't have to use garlic at all. This is the rest of some mozzarella cheese that I shredded up yesterday. And then here is my crab meat. This is just what we get local here. It is by no means local to Tennessee because we have nothing around here seafood related. So I've got my 2 squash here. I'm just going to dice these up kind of. I'm going to quarter them and then cut them pretty thin. So let's cut the ends off of them. That can go to the chickens. Now I do know these are getting kind of old. They do need to be used. So that's why I'm trying to do something fast tonight so we can get back in the garden and keep working. So I'm going to cut the smaller piece of the neck off. I'm just going to half it and cut it in probably like 1/4 of an inch thick slices. But you can do it however you prefer. You can actually just, chop them up in big chunks if you want to. It's your dish. You make it the way you want to. Okay, and then the bigger section, I'm going to go ahead and quarter it. And then cut it kind of thinly the same way I did the last pieces. So for my pan, I'm using my big trusty red one. I'm going to put a little bit of oil in the bottom of it. Probably about 2 tablespoons or so. That just drizzled out. I know that looked like a lot. And then we'll go ahead and put this on medium high. So I just coated the bottom generously with a couple of tablespoons. We'll go ahead and put these in here. Get them out of the way as we work on the second one here. so now that we've got our squash cut up, I wanted to go ahead and do the vegetable first, because then I can cut the meat on top of the vegetable cutting board. Let's see. And it could, because this is already fully cooked. We're just going to have to warm it up. And you could actually eat this cold if you wanted to. The crab meat. So anyways, you always want to cut vegetables first and then your meat. Even though sometimes you want, if your meat is not cooked, you want to cook it first. Okay, so I'm just going to rough chop this up. Okay, so while the squash is cooking, we've got the crab meat all chopped up. Now they're just going to be in these little bite-sized pieces because that's just how they're pre-made. You can eat these cold. In the meantime, we're going to go ahead and get our white sauce ready. I do need to run outside and get some cream cheese real quick, so I'll do that. Be right back. Okay, so for my sauce, it's kind of like a white Alfredo sauce, I guess. I really don't know. I started doing this whenever I was dipping my toes into keto a couple years ago. And I kind of graduated this recipe from the Six Sisters stuff I found on Pinterest. I actually adopted it from their Skinny Alfredo. And I've just kind of, I never make it the same way. I just kind of throw stuff together. So this is what we're going to do. I've got the rest of a stick of butter here. So 4 tablespoons of butter. And while I'm at it, I'm going to go ahead and refill my butter stick, because it'll come that time that I'll be the one that needs some soft butter and I won't have it in here. So I keep my soft butter on top of my stove, because we usually use it within a week anyways, and it does not go bad. Alright, so we're going to cut this on medium-high. 4 tablespoons of butter. And then we're going to do 4 tablespoons of cream cheese. Now mine is frozen, so I'm just going to have to kind of let it thaw as the butter heats up. I'm going to do this kind of slow. Let me turn it down to medium. Let's just do it on medium since mine's frozen. If yours is not frozen, you want to go ahead and warm it up a little bit faster, you can do it on medium-high. Whatever your preference is. Now once that gets melted, we are going to put in about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, probably about a 1/2 cup of mozzarella, a tablespoon of minced garlic, and I'll see what it looks like. And if I need some of this cottage cheese, I'll probably put about a 1/4 cup of cottage cheese in it. Now cottage cheese is full of protein, so that will just further more up the protein in this dish, as well as making it healthy. So that is melting down nicely. The squash is getting really soft, and a couple of pieces are starting to brown. So what I'm going to do, lower you guys down. I'm going to go ahead and start breaking this crab meat up and putting it in here. And you know, I haven't seasoned it yet because I'm not really for sure what spices, if any, I'm going to use. I'm probably just going to do a little bit of salt and pepper and keep it kind of simple tonight. Maybe a little rosemary or something might be good in here. You could also cook some onions while you're cooking the squash. You can go ahead and just cook that down with your squash, and then you have some onions in it. You could do some peppers, some chives. I mean, you guys, the options are endless. I'm just, like I said, I give you basic recipes and I give you options, and then you just kind of do whatever you want to. See what your family likes. You may want to use some kind of white fish maybe that you've canned, like catfish. If you've canned catfish, it turns out being kind of like tuna fish. You would want to try that with something like this. And all you would have to do is basically just warm it all up. You know, cook your squash and whatever other vegetables you want to throw in here. Some corn would be good in here. I might actually do a little bit of that. I've got probably about a 1/2 cup of corn in there. Some corn would be good in here. And all of this is kind of like sweet, on the sweeter side, sweet corn. This imitation crab meat is sweet. The yellow squash is kind of sweet. And then whenever you put these cheeses and stuff on here, I need all this. Whenever you put the cheeses on there, that mozzarella brings out the sweetness in crab meat. So it is a little bit on the sweeter side. And like I said, you could use other seafood, other fishes. You could use other meat. You could do this with chicken if you wanted to. But basically, the squash is replacing like your noodles, if you want to think of it that way. You could do this with smoked sausage if you wanted to. We've had quite a bit of smoked sausage lately, so I'm kind of trying to stay away from that best I can. So this would actually feed a lot. Doing a recipe like this, it would feed quite a few people. Especially if you put another squash in here. You could actually do a zucchini. You could probably put potatoes or something in here. Just whatever you guys need to use up. Put it in here. Put some corn in there too. Alright, now I'm going to do about a half a teaspoon of pepper. And about a half a teaspoon of salt. I don't know, I just guess it and throw it in there. Alright, let the crab meat go ahead and warm up. Let's check out our sauce. Alright, let's see if this is melting any. Alright, that's going to continue to melt just a little bit now that I've gotten it broken up some. Help it out a little bit. We'll go ahead and put in about a 1/4 cup of Parmesan cheese, which is a good handful. I'm not going to put the mozzarella cheese in just yet. We could go ahead and put that parm in there. That would be fine. Let's put a little bit of salt and pepper. And I just did a little bit in my hand here. And if you needed to make a little bit more of this, you could actually put some milk or heavy whipping cream in it and cook it down just a little bit. Or add just a little bit more cheese. Alright, it is almost done. Let's go ahead and put our garlic in it. And I'll put about a tablespoon in there. Yep, and some heavy whipping cream. If you don't have heavy whipping cream, you could go ahead and put like some yogurt or sour cream in here as well. And I usually do if I have some that's just a little bit left over I need to use up. Make it just a little bit. That was about a 1/4 cup, so I'll go ahead and put about a 1/4 cup more. Yep, that looks good. Alright. I can smell that crab meat because some of them got a little toasty. Alright, let's go ahead and pour this over. Yep, I think that's going to do good. Now I'm going to let this cook down just a little bit. And then we'll top it with our mozzarella cheese. We'll see how this turns out. Alright, so this didn't take very long at all. Probably 5 minutes or so. And I can see the cheese mixture in there is getting really good and thick. Let's go ahead and cut the stove off. And now we're going to sprinkle as much as you want. I'm going to start off with, I'm probably just going to use this bag. I ain't going to lie. I'm probably just going to use this bag. About a cup of cheese. I'm going to sprinkle it on top. And then if you have a cover to your dish, go ahead and cover it. Take it off the eye if you need to. And then just let this cheese melt. Look at that, guys. That's wonderful. So guys, there you have it. An easy 1 skillet meal that was, it probably took like 15-20 minutes. It took no time at all. Yellow squash, so you got your vegetables, you got your crab meat, which is your meat. You've also got your cheeses, your fats, your protein. You've got everything you need all in one dish, and it took no time to whip up. So if you come in straight from the garden, you have some extra meat, you have some extra vegetables, throw them together, put a white sauce on, a little bit of cheese, you're good to go. Now, I know some of you are really recipe specific, so I will try to type it up in the description. Otherwise, you've seen how I put it together. Now to this, you can add maybe about 8 ounces to 10 ounces of maybe like some cooked egg noodles. You can cook that on the back eye or in the microwave, however you cook noodles, while you are cooking your squash. And then fix your sauce. And if you need to cook the noodles, do that. Pour them in with your squash after everything gets cooked, and then do your pasta while the crab meat's heating up. So it's all about, you know, time management and kind of knowing when to cook stuff when. And also you could put like broccoli in it. You could put English peas in it. You could put green beans in it if you want to. I mean, this dish could be so endless on options. But I just wanted to bring it to you since I was just making it up. I had no clue what I was doing, just throwing it together, hoping for the best. But if we absolutely love it, which I'm sure we will, I will have it videoed for myself later if I need to go back and get this recipe, because I do that a lot. I cook a lot of stuff and they're like, oh, can you make that again? I'm like, yeah, I don't remember what I put in it. So I really need to video that kind of stuff and share with you guys, and especially so I'll have it later, you know. But anyways, that's all I've got tonight. I hope you guys enjoy this. Go try this. Let me know what you would do. If you do something similar, let me know. So, we'll see you next time, guys. Until then, bye.